Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your board. P-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab, in the wee hours of the morning, where I do what I do for you. Got something nice for you today. Quick lesson, shouldn't be that long. Informative. Let's go. Writism. 25 was lived by storytelling. Story with a message in the story for life. I'm giving you life lessons. You tuned in and receiving. I hope they're working out for you. We got a good thing going. Let it rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Getting to know yourself a little bit. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers do just that. So my goal is to give you the information to help you do just that. Know thyself. So that's my mission. It should be your goal as a right thinker. Subscribe, hit the like button like they tell you. So I appreciate it. Let's do what we do. Know thyself is the question. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer to it, I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do. What I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believes or thinks that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is asleep spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock, here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside here. Right thinkers know thyself. Into my eye. Be true. I'm in the book again. I had a guy ask me, where you get the information from? I'm no, this ain't the book. I don't want to cover out this book, but I'm using the initiation into Egyptian yoga. I flip back and forth because the information is pretty much universal. It's all about getting to know yourself. I'm coming at you from every angle I could to make that point clear. So whatever works for you, that's what you do. All right. Today we're going to talk about introduction to Ammit and karma. We all talk about karma, so I'm gonna give you a little background about karma. So let's start with Ammit. Now, Ammit is an important goddess in the Pert Heru text. Ammit means great death. She is a composite beast, and she's a female, combining one-third hippopotamus, that's the hind parts, one-third lion, that's the breast chest part, and one-third crocodile, that's the face. And that's what she chomped down on. Okay, she is the symbolic devourer of who? The unrighteous souls. Meaning, before we came up with this heaven and hell idea, we said you're gonna have to go meet Ammit, the devourer. So that's called dying twice. If you don't reach your spiritual enlightenment while here in death, you're going to meet Amen. Simple as that. That was the idea. And you think going to the hell and burning no, that was didn't mean to them. To be eaten by Amet was worse than anything else. So they tried to avoid that by living right, living Maya, and going on to the afterlife. That's the concept. Okay. But now, watch this. We got a judgment scene here. It's famous. Okay. That's them coming to the heart of Maya. The scale is actually Maya. You see Anu is there, checking to make sure the balance is right. You see Tahuti over there keeping track of what's going on. And behind Tahuti is Amet. He's waiting. If the heart weigh heavy, he get to eat. Okay? So he just sits and waits at the scale. And if you fail, he get to have his way. So, where we at? Now the judgment scene, what it just showed you, is how a person owns. Listen, this is the part that we want our young people to know. I want the young people to get this concept. Obviously, we missed the boat a few generations on this one. Judgment scene shows how a person's own IRE, aka actions, are judged and how this leads a person to their fate. Whatever you did during your life will be held to you, accountable by you at Judgment Day, conceptually. Now, you either to move on and discover divine. If you became enlightened, you're a right thinker, you will pass Judgment Day because you're going to do the things to become spiritually enlightened. So, on that Judgment Day, you'll be ready. That's the name of the game. That's the concept of right thinking philosophy, prepare you for Judgment Day. Oh, they concerned with death. It's imminent. You better be. But it's something that comes after that that they knew that they lived for while they was alive. The purpose of living right and doing right and earning blessings so that when this life is over, you go on and live in the afterlife. That was the concept. What's the difference between heaven and hell? Same thing. Same thing. But how to get to heaven? Live right, do right. So same thing. Calm down. Sorry. All right. There you go. Now, in order for you to move on and discover who? The divine God and what? Become one with the divine. Or, now that's for right thinkers. We want to become one with the divine in the next life. He's eternal, forever. And you do that by waking yourself up consciously, knowing who you are. And when you go, your body, which is the spirit, the falcon, has your head on it. That means you are conscious. This means I know who I am. It's the quintessential of saying I know who I am, or I've reached the level of spiritual enlightenment. It's symbolic. But in life, you want to live Maya. Why? Because it keeps your life in balance. It keeps you in line to do what you need to do, preparing for the afterlife. And if you did that, you go meet the divine. Now, if not, you were to suffer due to what? Listen, you're going to suffer due to your own negative actions of the past, one who eats his own heart, or you're going to be reincarnated. Why? Because you didn't do the things that you needed to do. Obviously, if you was rich and famous, you didn't concern yourself with God. You had all materialistic things that made everything work. Okay, so you're going to miss the boat, so to speak, and you're going to be reincarnated. If you play golf, get a mulligan, a do-over. The worst thing the Egyptians could do was be reincarnated. They no, okay, that was a no-no. So, and above, you see Tahuti, the record keeper, records the results. While your boy Ammit or your sister Aminet, monster, the devourer of the who? The unjust, the unrighteous. She awaits the answer for the judgment. If your heart is heavy in that feather, she's having at it. And she's constantly busy. There's a whole lot of people feel. And they show on there she's little. In reality, she is humongous because she eats a lot of hearts, obviously. All right, I got a few things to read here right before I wrap this up. The idea to teach you about the afterlife and the concern they had about the afterlife. They were serious about not wanting to meet Aminet. Here you go. Therefore, watch this. One's One control one's what? Your own fate. How? According to your own level of wisdom or reasoning capacity, aka how you live daily. And the scene is actually a pictorial, iconographical representation of the philosophy of what they call Ari, which is karma, and Ak, or what they call reincarnation. If you didn't live Maya, if your Ari was negative, you won't pass the test at Judgment Day. Right here, where I'm going over to here, I got something to read right here. Now, the ancient Egyptians were so sophisticated in nature of the understanding and exposition of the philosophy of Irie, aka karma, incorporates what? The intermeshing of the myth and iconograph and philosophy related to the divinities in their interaction. These yield what? A powerful mystical system, which we call the Egyptian mystery system, or Semi-Tawi, which became the basis of commission culture and civilization. It started a long time ago. I'm trying to tell my Christian-based people I'm not proud of the Bible, not one bit. But I got the perk in my root. We had a Bible before y'all Bible, thousands of years. So please don't get it wrong. Understand that. And this myth, watch this, also allow us to what? Understand. I need you to understand, God, that the higher inner philosophy about offerings and the externalities related to what burial are not important. Why? What is important is to what? Cleanse the heart. Speak Makaru. Be an honest person through what? Righteous actions. Again, it's a way of life. And don't forget, virtuous living so as to what? Experience the fate of enlightenment and not suffering through your egoistic desires for worldly things. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Don't get caught up in the human part. Why? You'll miss the spirituality and you'll be here again doing it again. The recycling, aka reincarnation. It's gonna be quick. I'm about to wrap this up. This is the summary of the philosophy of what we know as karma. We call the Ari in Egypt. In ancient Egyptian is based on the Commission text. It says action means to do something. With Ari, that means action. To do something things done. In every action, there's a what? Equal reaction. So if your action is good, the reaction is going to be good. Reap what you sow. Whatever you put out, you get back. Simple. Yin and the yang. You can't have one without the other. They go hand in hand. You can't have good without bad. Come on now. That's the whole purpose of Maya, giving you duality. You need to have a choice. In order to make one, you got to have one. And if you got all of one thing, that's not a choice. So that's the concept. Then you got Arit Mayat. That means work rightly, lead a life of integrity in accordance with what? The Mayat philosophy. That's the philosophy that I practice. That's the one I mastered. Pretty much the favorite. Like you see me giving her praise. Yeah, I'm all about Mayat and living her principles. Why? It sets a precedent for you to have a good lifestyle. And it's a way to live, good way to live. Trust me, the ancients did it thousands of years, and it worked for them for thousands of years as a society. Not one or two people, not a few pockets here and there. Everybody was on board. Something that happened now. New World Order took care of that. Ari, watch this. Then you got Ari M. Hotep. When I say Hotep, you spell H-E-T-E-P, or you can spell it H-O. The E and O is universal, so it's transferable. Some say the E, some with the O. I'll use the E. Still pronounce it Hotep. Work contentedly with peace and contentment without what? Egoistic desires or expectations. If you're on a job to rise up and be the boss and take over, that's ego. But if you go to a job and do your best job and you start rising to the rank because the work that you put in, that's how it's supposed to be done. And if it's meant for you, you get it. Simple. Moving on. Now, next one is Mayat Ab. Ab is the heart. Okay, it's like a vessel, like a vase that stores all your everything, your consciousness, your memory. It got more memory than the brain. Mayat Ab thus attain what? Purity of the heart. If you are a liar, you're a deceitful person. Your heart cannot be purified. Why? You're doing bad things, and the heart knows that. So it's not going to acquiesce to wrong actions. Sorry about that. That's why you might your ad. Keep it in balance. You purify by living, doing, and treating people right. That's the criteria. And if you ain't filling that criteria, you just spin your wheels. Well, no, you egoistically living charm life. I know that. Next one is, here's my favorite. Makaru. It means becoming true of speech, spiritually enlightened. I speak the truth. I got no reason to lie. I ain't trying to make myself look bigger than who I am. When I go into my past, I'm using it as an example of what not to do. So I ain't trying to brag about what I used to do. It ain't about that. But I speak the truth. Last one, I appreciate you tuning in. I read Haru. Here we go. Receive the eye of Haru. Okay? It means what? perfected action, the Eucharist. When you become one with your higher self, you elevate your personality, everything about you raises a little bit better. Why? Because you're doing all the right things for the right reason. And the act of, watch this, becoming one with the divine, that is the highest action of a human being. Knowing thyself. Reach that level and you win in this game we call life. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'll be back.